Who has come to Eric Ten Hag's rescue in this game? Harry Maguire. Who has come to Ten Hag's rescue in this game? Harry Maguire. By the way, the most shocking bit of it is all that if you really thought that, at the start of this game, did you ever think that it would be Harry Maguire to cut Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United off the rope? Tell me the truth, guys. Go into the comment section and really let me know about what your thoughts are about this. But I want to let you know that if you really went into this game expecting that Harry Maguire would obviously save us, I think you are one of the few. But me as Rock and David, I never saw myself see Harry Maguire come to the saving for the club of Manchester United. And guess what? Full time, United 3, FC Porto 3. Rashford and Rasmus Højlund obviously putting United into a comfortable lead of 2-0 in a space of how many minutes? In a space of 20 minutes, United was 2 goals up. 7 minutes later, Pepe went ahead to obviously score and make it to 1. Then Sami Omaredion went ahead to score in the 34th minute to make it to 2. 50th minute, 50 minutes into the second, 5 minutes into the second half, United conceded the third one, and Bruno Fernandez was sent off around the 81st minute. A 10-man Manchester United went ahead to fight back and obviously send a message that we can fight. We can really fight for this manager. Smash the like button close to 200 times. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and you know how we do it onto this channel. We obviously bring in the match reaction every after the game of football is done and dusted. But Eric Ten Hag is loved by God. I told you that if you ask me what Eric Ten Hag has, amid him being a good manager, but being stubborn on tactics and obviously on certain players at the club of Manchester United, who are really gonna cost him a job at Manchester United. You know, Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandez are players that are really costing the club, and I don't know why it hasn't gone ahead to be seen anyway. And I'm just still asking myself, why was Marcus Rashford taken off? Was he really injured and he never really felt well into his muscle or leg? But I tell you, I'm gonna really dig deep into what he really did right and what he did wrong, and it has been something that we've always gone ahead to complain about. And one of the two things that we've always gone ahead to complain about have gone ahead obviously showcase them into this fixture. And guess what? Manchester United really lacks what we call leadership onto the field of play, and the people that are really natural born leaders cannot really lead because some of them are new. And what we've gone ahead to have in here as a club of Manchester United is to see ourselves really leveling this game of football and drawing 3-3 with Harry Maguire coming in through to obviously put in the shift all together. I tell you what, if you watched my match preview, I came out and told you that United is really going to do a draw, and that was really my outright call of a result from this game of football. I think if at all you watched my video, you remember that very well. I came up and obviously said I see a draw of Manchester United written all over this beautiful game of football. But all in all, I would like to obviously talk about the positives and the negatives. Where should I start? Let me start off with the negatives. First and foremost, I think if Eric Ten Hag went ahead to win that game with that midfield, with Bruno on and Marcus Rashford on, I would have gone ahead to say the manager has gone ahead to prove us wrong. But he saw to it that all what costed us were the same players that we're going to obviously complain about. That double pivot of Casemiro and Eriksen in possession, it's really good. When you're really having the ball, it's really good. But when you lose the ball, they cannot really make those tackles. They cannot really retrack, quickly enough to really come and really shield that back four. And remember, we are playing a high line, and you saw to it that we were off the pace in that midfield, and we lacked a mobile player into that midfield. And I think Eric Ten Hag got that wrong. I tell you, he got that wrong, because I've always gone ahead to let you know that our double pivot should be Casemiro and Manuel Ugarte. Then get Bruno Fernandez off the field of play and play in a player called Eriksen, because you saw to it that all the 3 goals that we scored, Eriksen had a hand in those goals. And that shows you what a better number 10 we are having at the club of Manchester United as Eriksen, because for the first goal, he's responsible for the assist. He gets that ball, he distributes to Marcus Rashford. Rashford runs past 2 players, and enters into the 18 yards box and goes in for the near post. Him going for the near post resulted into Manchester United getting the first goal, beating Diego Costa onto the near post. The second one, Eriksen plays in Marcus Rashford, and Marcus Rashford releases Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund goes for the near post, and after going for the near post, the goalkeeper couldn't obviously save that ball. It really had a touch, but it was too powerful for the goalkeeper to really block its way into the net, and it was 2-0. Then, for the third one, who brings the corner? Who delivers the corner for Harry Maguire to obviously head that ball into the back of the net? It's none other than Eriksen. That's why I told you when I was doing that reaction to Bruno Fernandez's red card being scrapped off him in the Premier League, meaning that he's going to be available playing Aston Villa, I was like, this is a very bad message to Erik ten Hag, because Erik ten Hag cannot drop Bruno Fernandes unless otherwise he's red carded or sick or what, and we know to it that he's not an injury-prone player. And Eriksen has shown us that in that number 10 role, he thrives better than Bruno Fernandes. You know, he goes in for those far post efforts everywhere you need him. You know, he doesn't lose the ball and puts in the shift. And why don't you really play him as a number 10 for the club of Manchester United? That is the big question that we obviously come up and obviously ask ourselves. But I tell you one thing, I tell you what, Manchester United really has to really stand in huge and obviously see to it that Bruno Fernandes is a man that should play off the bench. If I may ask you, what did Bruno Fernandes have to do in all those minutes? Can someone come out and tell me what Bruno Fernandes had to do in those minutes? You know, he lost possession. I think no player on the pitch lost possession like Bruno Fernandes, doing what he was doing previously in the previous games. Then, look at the moments where he really went selfish. You know, shots at goal, right? He went in for those shots at goal, yet they are really uncalled for. You know, Amad Diallo on both occasions had gone ahead to obviously spread himself wide and was like, please, can you get me onto the ball? And Bruno Fernandes was like, no, I'm gonna shoot this myself into the back of the net. And was like, this guy Bruno Fernandes doesn't deserve a place. I told you that what makes you a number 10 is to really involve or get your players onto the field of play. You get and make them better. That's what makes you a different kind of player altogether. You understand? So, to my understanding, I believe that Erik ten Hag has gotten more signals on Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford that they are not those players that he should trust when it comes to United playing in such games and obviously making these decisions. I think if you bring them on when the game is killed off, the better. You get? Because they'll be like, I need to prove myself, I need to do the needful and obviously score these goals and do the needful. Because when you put in Eriksen ahead of Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen will at every time coming through and show us exactly what he's good at. You get? And in this whole case of showing what he's good at, he'll be like showing Bruno Fernandes that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like you see what Amad does when he starts on the field of play. He sends a message to Anthony that if you are to come in through and really play in this position, this is what you're supposed to be playing. But unfortunately, the guy who is being shown doesn't even want to do the needful. And when he comes on through, he does what he does. You know, Anthony does what Anthony has always gone ahead to do on a regular basis. So when you look at things and how stuff is really moving, Bruno Fernandes has gone ahead to get a second red card. And I tell you that you can't be that reckless. You get? You know you are onto a yellow card and you go high. You get? And you go high. Was there a need for Bruno Fernandes to go high? You get? I see no reason as to why he was really going high. You get? You saw to it that we are really pressing this team into its half and we are suffocating that team, and it was just a matter of us going ahead to obviously do the needful and really create a chance and see ourselves really winning that game of football, equalize and win, because Bruno Fernandes was sent off around the 81st minute. You get? And Harry Maguire scores a goal 9 minutes after Bruno Fernandes has gone ahead obviously get sent off. You understand? Meaning that team had already gone ahead obviously give up, because the moment a home team like FC Porto says it's 3-2 and let's sit back, it's a message that, all right, that's the best they can do. That's the best they can do. So for me, I felt like something had to be done to see to it that everything really moves on into the right direction altogether, and very possible this would have gone ahead obviously happen and really take us into a better position possible as a side of Manchester United. But all I want to let you know is that Bruno Fernandez is one of those players that has obviously become a problem to the team. And how do you obviously show him that you're really touchable? Bench him. Put him on the bench. Bench Bruno Fernandez. I tell you, if you bench Bruno Fernandez, he'll obviously understand that if I don't do exactly what the manager really calls in for, then I'm not gonna really coming through to obviously start. You understand? That is the most important bit of it all. And I tell you, if they don't really continue to play if Ten Hag keeps playing him on the field of play, you're gonna see the results not really going our way. You get? Because it's not that on any day we'll keep a clean sheet. You get? It depends on the quality of teams you're really playing. You get? And how your players really defend. And this takes me to Rashford. I would like to give Rashford his flowers. First goal, brilliant run, selfish run, and it resulted into a goal. Very, very, very positive and huge run for the side of Bruno Fernandez. And it was really legit, and he really went ahead, obviously, make that good run and really scored a brilliant goal, at the beginning of the game. Second goal, it was Rasmus Højlund coming in through to obviously put in what we call a very huge shift. And what did he do? Rashford played him in and went for the near post effort. And I'm really going to be giving Rasmus Højlund his flowers later into this discussion. But for Rashford, Marcus, a goal and an assist, I think that was really one of the moments that he would really beg for him to obviously produce in every game. But I gave him ticks for all what he did. But if you are really good offensively, and you're the reason as to why we've gone ahead to concede 2 goals, then I come up and obviously blame you to the hugest, because in that game, the first goal, to put in that inch perfect cross that results into the Pepe goal, Marcus Rashford was trotting, and the person that was really going to cross that ball was really already coaching his foot. And if at all Rashford came ahead and applied pressure, there is no way that guy puts in a perfect cross. You get? For a player of FC Porto to head it to Onana, and after heading to Onana, it comes out, obviously result into a ricochet from Onana into the field, and then Pepe comes back and obviously meets that ball, really hits it into the back of the net. You understand? The second goal, our left back Dalot is caught in a 1v2 situation, and Marcus Rashford is supposed to be tracking back, and that is the bad thing that Marcus Rashford did. I tell you, if Marcus Rashford had gone ahead to track back well, there is no way Manchester United would have gone ahead, obviously, concede those 2 goals. There would have gone ahead to be enough bodies into the box, and would have gone ahead, obviously, put in a very good shift. And now, I'm coming to understand that it's a system of Erik Ten Hag that he really sacrifices his left back to a 1v2 situation, and anticipating a player like Marcus Rashford to obviously be given the ball after us winning it and hit us on the break. But when you try out things and they don't work out as Erik Ten Hag, what do you do as a manager who is really very dynamic? You have to change your system of play and tell Rashford, please, you need to track back. And obviously, you had played it for 20 minutes. We hadn't gone ahead to concede, and our team of Manchester United had gone ahead, obviously, put in the required shift altogether, and we are 2 goals up now. Why didn't you tell him that now you are supposed to track back? And after scoring those 2 goals, if Erik Ten Hag was really a man in his right mind on the day, I think he would have gone ahead to tell Manchester United, let's invite pressure. Now that we are 2 goals up, let's park the bus a little bit, Let's park the bus a little bit. Let us invite pressure, because we know we can defend very well. And then let us hit them on the break. I think that would have gone ahead to be the poor master plan. You get? That would have gone ahead to be the poor master plan. And I was like, if Rashford could obviously track, you get? If Marcus Rashford could obviously track back, like Amadi Diallo did to help Mazraoui, I don't think that we conceded those 2 goals. Did you see any threat come off the side of Mazraoui and Amad Diallo? The answer is no. The answer is no. No threat came from that side, because Amadi Diallo tracks back. You get? Tracks back and Marcus Rashford doesn't track back. And by the way, even Alejandro Garnacho doesn't track back. It might sound very, very, very unelaborative, but it's realistic, guys. It's realistic. Go ahead and really watch those games and see how he really finds himself touched onto that touchline near the center half. You get that is really very bad, and I don't really believe that a club like Manchester United should obviously be playing like that. I think we should be defending like a team and attacking like a team. That is it. So I think those are things that Erik ten Hag really has to really change a lot. But if Ten Hag goes with that midfield when you're playing against Aston Villa, I tell you, we have no chance. We have no chance against Villa. That is it. If Ten Hag doesn't believe that Manuel Ugarte is a player to obviously come through and do the needful for the club of Manchester in that midfield, then why did we go for him? In that game, the first substitution after the hour mark would have gone ahead to take Bruno Fernandez off, you understand, get Manuel Ugarte into the double pivot alongside Casemiro, and get Eriksen to play into that central attacking midfield role, because Bruno had failed. All signals were like, Bruno is really having a bad day in office, like he has always gone ahead to have in the previous games that we've gone ahead to play. But Ten Hag has gone ahead to obviously send us a message that Bruno Fernandez is really untouchable, and that is a very bad message to the players who are really performing when you keep on a player who is really underperforming on the field of play, and that is really uncalled for. And I don't see any reason as to why Bruno Fernandez is one of those players that is really untouchable at the side of Manchester United. I tell you, he deserves to be taken off. You get? He deserves to be taken off, and you sort of eat that. The more times you keep him on the field of play, you understand, the more times you keep him on the field of play, you get? The more times you keep him on the field of play, you get? He is really getting more frustrations. That's why he has gotten a second red card in 2 games consecutively. You understand? It's a message that Erik ten Hag has to read, that this guy is not in his right sense of mind. And what do? Get him off the pitch and leave on Eriksen. You get? I don't know whether Erik ten Hag has enough balls to obviously do it to Bruno Fernandes, because he has gone ahead to do it to Marcus Rashford, because I saw this here, that all those goals, Marcus Rashford was the problem. He really let Dalot, do the needful, and he never really went ahead to obviously press the right back to obviously come in through and really haunt us into our own half. And Ten Hag has gone ahead to confirm to us that he took off Marcus Rashford as a sign of rotation, not a sign of injury, meaning that Marcus Rashford was fit and he took him off because of what he did when we are really conceding the 2 goals. He was the reason as to why we conceded the 2 goals, and Marcus Rashford was like, I'm going to stay in the dressing room. He never really came back onto the pitch, and that shows you that he was really pissed off. And if I'm Erik ten Hag, I would like a reaction to come out from a player like Marcus Rashford after blaming him, meaning that the next game I'm going to be playing, Marcus Rashford will obviously come up and obviously do exactly what I want him to do. You understand? So that is really very important about Erik ten Hag on what he has gone ahead obviously coming through and put in as a shift for his team, and he really did it. Now, I want to see that ruthless hand of Erik ten Hag get extended to his captain. That is it. Because for Marcus Rashford, even when he scored 2 goals, he was taken off the field of play. I know very few people will say it's all about rotation, but look at what he did. He did the same thing when you're conceding against Spurs, and he has gone ahead to do it when you're conceding against this side known as FC Porto. And now we've gone ahead to play 2 games, and we're having 2 points, which is really bad. And we're left with Fenerbahce, Bodo Glimt, we have FSN, there is POK. You get? I think all the games that we are left to play at home are really easy, and we can obviously go ahead and obviously collect 9 points from those, and those will be 11 if we can obviously get in a win at FSNB and a win against, I think, Fenerbahce. I think Man United will be good to go. We'll obviously be among the top 8 teams that can obviously turn out to be the best of the best. And I have to look through this table and see whether Manchester United has obviously gone ahead to obviously see themselves put in the required shift all possible in as far as facing the teams that are really above us, such that when you beat them, they go under us. Rasmus Højlund, obviously there is no way I can leave this video without talking about Rasmus Højlund. And Rasmus Højlund, I think he has shown us how clinical he is. One chance, one goal. You get? His first start, he has gone ahead obviously put in a goal. And this is where I've always gone ahead obviously tell everybody that there is no way you come up and obviously say that he's not a good number 9. He has shown you that even in a half chance, because for me, I don't really regard that pass to him by Marcus Rashford as a clear-cut chance. You get? That he is a half chance and he has gone ahead to convert it because of how brilliant he is. And that near post shot was really heavy, and it really went ahead to obviously see him really score a goal into that encounter. And that is the beauty of Rasmus Højlund. And last season he scored 17, and I think him coming early this season and having gone ahead to obviously start his first game, going to Aston Villa, I tell you, he's really going to start in that game of Aston Villa, and he'll go away and play 2 games in the international break with the Dane national team. That means he would have gone ahead obviously getting like 4 clear starts in a row, and I know those will be enough to obviously sharpen him as a player. I believe those will be enough to sharpen him enough as a player into that role to come in through and take over Joshua Zirkzee against Brentford and very many other teams that you're going to be playing, you know. So Rasmus Højlund, 1 goal in his first start, and I think what flowers would a person like him really deserve? Let me talk about the elite and Lisandro Martinez. For me, I can only blame them on the 3rd goal. On the 3rd goal, I'll go all in against them. On any day, I'll say they would have gone ahead obviously coming through and really put in a better shift into that beautiful game of football. But I tell you, for the 3rd goal, I believe Matthias de Ligt really makes a very awful reading of that game. You get? And I'm gonna see people like Paul Scholes that Harry Maguire came on and really leveled the game. But do you think Harry Maguire would have gone ahead obviously shield that back four and really see us suffocate that side into their half? No way, because we cannot play high line with Harry Maguire. That is it. And he only comes in through to the saving or to the rescue in that corner. But all in all, United, I think, had a better possession. They showed the resiliency. And I told you when I was coming to this game that what these players show us on the field of play will be a message on whether they are behind the manager or not. You understand? That's what United players shown today, that they are behind this manager. I told you that in a game like that, if you are 2-2 and if you are 2-0 and it's 2-2, I think you can easily down tools and really let in other goals to go through. But United kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And these stats that I'm going to show you right now speak volumes onto what the players of Manchester United had to put out on the field of play. 14 shots by FC Porto, United had 28. 7 shots on target by FC Porto, United had 8 shots on target. And that shows you that we needed a little bit of more composure at the side of Manchester United into that game, or the beautiful game of football. Then 46% ball possession by FC Porto. Man United had 54% ball possession. 421 passes completed by FC Porto. Manchester United completed 488. 83% passing accuracy by FC Porto, 88% passing accuracy by Manchester United, 7 fouls by both sides, 1 yellow card to the side of FC Porto. No yellow cards issued to the side of Manchester United, but I think Bruno Fernandez really went ahead to get a yellow card because it was a second bookable offense. That's why he was really sent off that field. And then red cards, 0 for FC Porto and 1 for the club of Manchester United. It went to the man himself, known as Bruno Fernandez Borges. That's the person that went ahead to obviously get that red card into the making to that game of football. Then 0 offsides to FC Porto and 1 offside to the side of Manchester United. 5 corners to FC Porto and 10 corners to the side of Manchester United. Anything positive in this game, it was really taken over by the club of Manchester United, and it shows you that we only need a number 10 to obviously create chances for our forwards. You know, that is it. The number 10 to release our forwards as soon as possible in games of this magnitude. That's what we only need. Then this is how the table is really looking. Lazio on top, Lyon, Tottenham Hotspur, FCSB. We are having FSB in the teams you're going to play. Anderlecht is having 6 points. Ajax is having 4. Eintracht Frankfurt is having 4. Galatasaray is having 4. Midtjylland is having 4. Stava Praha is having 4. And let me see where United is. United is really 20th. You get? United is 20th, as you see there, with 2 points, meaning that if the league is to really be, if the tournament is to end here, we don't do we qualify? Yeah, we qualify because they take 24. They take the next 16, and if you have to count 16 from 8, that is 24, and United will be playing what we call a playoff into this beautiful game of football. So that's where we are right now. But I tell you, I think this man has gonna hit obviously save the job of Erik ten Hag, and I think pressure would have gonna hit obviously mount onto Erik ten Hag onto a very, very, very abnormal sense, because when you control a game of football like that, you need to kill off you need to kill it off, and when you don't kill it off, I tell you, it doesn't really give you the best results that you deserve in as a player involved. Then Alfred Nibigira says Bruno again is hailing his club. Why Ten Hag continues to trust this? Why Ten Hag continues to trust this guy? There is something wrong with him. This season the coach is cooking himself. I don't see Sandy leaving him as a United coach. Now this draw is really gonna leave him as a United coach even if he loses to Aston Villa. I tell you. Do you know why? Because the players have shown that they can fight back. If you read that tweet that came in through from the man himself, known as Fabrizio Romano, he told us that all what the board is wanting is the reaction of these players after the loss of Tottenham Hotspur. That, can they fight back? And the players have gonna to show us that they've gonna to concede a red card in both games when they're really a goal down, and this time around they happened to obviously collect a draw. Last time they went ahead to obviously lose that game of football by 3-0. So the board needed that reaction, and I think that reaction speaks volumes to anyone who thinks that it's now time for Erik ten Hag to go. I don't see Erik ten Hag leave. You get this draw, and that's why I tell you that Maguire comes to Ten Hag's rescue. That's why I've got to hate obviously coming with that as a title, because if we lose this game of football, obviously noise that would have gone ahead to make would have gone ahead to be more huge than anyone else. And you would give Erik ten Hag a credit because he's the one who brought on Harry Maguire to obviously head that ball in the back of the net. You get? Don't take credit of him. Then Morris, why is Ten Hag sacking himself? I told you that Ten Hag is sacking himself because of Rashford and a player called because of Marcus Rashford and a player called Bruno Fernandez. But for Marcus Rashford, you would obviously hail Erik ten Hag or acknowledge him for taking him off because of the display that he put out on the field of play that led to us conceding. Silva says the EPL did very big mistake to overturn the red card of Bruno Fernandez, and I'm so disappointed. I said that, and people were like, I hate Bruno Fernandez, but I tell you, for me, I always tell you, every player is as good as his previous 90 minutes. You get? Silva says Manchester United should sack the manager before today. They cannot sack him. That draw speaks volumes to how the players have gone ahead obviously coming through and show to it that they're willing to fight for the manager and that their body language was really good. Silva says, I wish even on Sunday Bruno Fernandez can get a red card, guys. I'll be the happiest guy. And I tell you, if that's what is needed to obviously redeem Manchester United, then God will do it. Because for a player that had played ever since 2020 for the club of Manchester United, and he had never gone ahead to obviously concede what we call a red card, if he comes in through and concedes it in here, it just hands. It speaks volumes that there is something that is not okay with his head, and I cannot rule out him really getting red carded in the game of Aston Villa. Ezato Nani, hello bro, what happened to the team to go 3-3? I've gone ahead to explain at the beginning of the video. Go ahead and obviously watch the stream at its beginning. I've gone ahead to explain everything. CK Entertainment, there is no passion. Our game is boring. Guys, I don't really believe that our game is boring. I think we played very well. We move the ball well from the back line to the midfield, but the number 10, the factor of a number 10 is really missing in the club of Manchester United, and that's where Bruno Fernandez has to come up and obviously put in the shift, and he has not gone ahead obviously put it in. So I don't agree with anyone who says that we didn't play very well. We played very well, but how we defend is a problem. We should defend as a team. We should defend as a team. You get? We lose the ball, we should be having bodies into our 18 yards box area. The problem is that Bruno Fernandez, that number 10 position. Silva says, Sunday is far. I'm tired of Erik ten Hag in Manchester United. He should go. I don't think that is going to sack him even if he loses to Aston Villa. I think this game has gone ahead to speak volumes that these players can fight for the manager. I think if at all he loses to Aston Villa, they'll be like, let's see how he performs against Brentford at Old Trafford, and then how he performs against Fenerbahce away in the UEFA Europa League. Then, Okello Tom, it's time for Erik ten Hag to leave. Otherwise, Man United is going to end up in the championship. We cannot end up in the championship. Manchester United should part ways with Erik ten Hag. Even ask myself on how he substituted Rashford. He had to take him off because he costed us 2 goals. That is it. That is it. CK Entertainment, it looks like Ajax had a one good season and then we decided to sign players who were not helping. Let me tell you, the players that Ten Hag brought on are really performing very well. Mazuri is doing well, Delite is doing well, but the problem is that Erik ten Hag has to take off Bruno Fernandez. We need a better number 10 in that game. You get? Because who gets you control of the game? It's your number 10, because it's very hard to find a CDM or a player in the double pivot that is going to do that job, because for them what they have to do is, when they get that ball, they have to get to the number 10, and your number 10 should really control the game and really gets you. He drives you in the final third of the pitch. Casemiro and Eriksson, however slow they were, but they really moved that ball well in that midfield and they gave it to Bruno Fernandez. But what did Bruno Fernandez do? You get? I will hail Rashford today that he performed better than Bruno Fernandez, and in the player ratings, I'm really going to come up and obviously put in a very huge shift to obviously that obviously gets in a better rating in here. Bijura, and what's the role of Dalot? Cause he's making mistakes but can I ask you, what was the mistake that Dalot went ahead to make today? Do you really fault him for the first goal, second goal, third goal? No. Emerson, Atujukide, useless coach and captain, no leader at all. And that's why I blame Erik ten Hag, that he's sacking himself. He's having a good team. That team moves the ball very well from the back line through the central axis. Final third, give it to Bruno Fernandez, everything gets done. Marcus Rashford today, when he was given that ball, he really did the needful and really looked great into that side. CK says to Erik ten Hag, there is no pattern at all. The passion looks like the bond between players and coach. I don't think it's questionable. Who questions how this team really had obviously put their ball on the line today? I think the players played well. You get? But there are some nitty-gritties that Ten Hag needed obviously solve. You get? Because I'm here watching the second goal and how it came in through. You get? That man that puts in the cross should be marked by Marcus Rashford. You get? He should be marked by Marcus Rashford because all these other players are into the midfield. You get? Silva says, since Erik ten Hag joined Manchester United in season 22-23 up, we have never won more than 7 games. I think, for me, Ten Hag is really doing disjustice to himself, and I think he should get ruthless to these players. That is it. United have never had a ball more than 1 minute when it's guys. Silva, go and read the stats of this game. Go and read the stats of this game, especially in the second half. United came up through and really controlled the game. Now, I ask you, Silva, did United control the game? Yes or no? Let me see. By the way, let me go into the poll and really ask you and see whether you guys, you really had something to obviously come in through and obviously have to say. Let me see what you guys have to say. Did United control the game? Yes or no? I'm calling in for your reactions. Let's go. I want to see what you guys really have to say. Ericsson is better than Bruno. Yeah, Nelson Mwesigwa, exactly. Eric should be no 10 for Manchester United, right? Box says Maguire. Obviously, Maguire went ahead, obviously scored that goal and give him the credit. Coming off and obviously winning his first header in a corner and obviously headed it home. That was really great. Maguire, not really. Don't ever even think about it that Harry Maguire is better than Matthias de Ligt. No way, not in any way. Even this season, go ahead and really match their stats in the Premier League. Go and match their stats anywhere these two have gone ahead to play. You'll obviously find yourself that this side has gone ahead to find itself in a position of trouble when we are having Harry Maguire. Where in the process, that's Erik ten Hag has said. Obviously, we are in the process and we should trust it, but there are things we are not going to obviously dance to as we fans of Manchester United, like keeping Bruno on the field of play always. We should never ever foul and kid the fans. Bruno's first yellow card was never a yellow. Alright, guys. For me, okay, it was not a yellow. Right. Now, how do you act when you've gone ahead to understand that it's never a yellow? You understand? Football is supported to be a man's game. It's supposed to be a man's game. Clement says, what a comeback. We have a problem with defense. If up front, they can score goals. But this defense has really kept a clean sheet against Barnsley, against Southampton, against Crystal Palace. You understand? Now, you ask yourself, how have we conceded our goals? You get? Why don't we try Amas over Dalot? They've said that his physicality hasn't gone ahead obviously match the Premier League. That's why he's not gone ahead obviously coming through to be played. But what did Dalot do wrong today? Can anyone tell me what Diego Dalot did wrong today? I think in the game of Tottenham Hotspur, he really had a very bad first half. Second half was good, but today I think Dalot was good. Olport says, let's wait for the drama on Sunday. Man U can't beat Aston Villa from the Villa Park. Guys, in the game of football, never say never, anything is possible. United can lose to Aston Villa. United can beat Aston Villa. They can draw. You get? Because the fact is, United has quality players, but can they complement their quality and raise it up to the next level? That is the huge question. Olport Charles, this is Namanya. Ten Hag is rigid. He wants the things to be the way he wants. He's rigid, you said. He can't leave Rashford. That is it. And he's rigid. And that's why, if he's to get sacked, no one is really going to come out here and obviously say that I'm really feeling for Erik ten Hag, because these players have shown him that they're costing him games, season in, game out, but he has kept playing them all time, meaning that it will be his own orchestration to be sacked. Emmanuel says, sack Erik ten Hag. Ezato Nani, the refs want Bruno to reset, but ten Hag says no, right. Hamad says, Man United should bench Bruno Fernandez, all right. Then, Overhead Kick TV, what are your contact details for the channel? How do you want to contact me? Go into the videos I've gone ahead to record. You get the videos I've recorded. Do the needful and take over. Do the needful, and I think I'm gonna put my email there, right? Let me put my email. You get? Let me put my email. If at all you want to contact me, let me put my email there, and you can obviously. My email is. Let me obviously type the email here. I think it's. Right. I think it's United Matters Channels. You get at gmail.com. So I've gone ahead obviously put my email down there. You can as well go ahead and obviously email me unitedmatterschannels at gmail.com. Then you'll be getting me. You email me and let me know what you really want to let me know. That is Overhead Kick TV, all right. And I'm having Bamwine Michael. Don't have Rashford like 1 goal and assist. All right. I've given him his flowers for that, but he was responsible for the goals we conceded. And then Michael, don't hate Rashford like that. Bruno, you're right, but Rashford count goal. Yeah, but if you go ahead and really do a goal and an assist, does it end there? You get? You have to come in through and obviously put in the shift and really defend very well and do your job. Those times, those 2 crosses that resulted into us conceding goals, the first 2 goals, Rashford would have gone ahead to do better. He was supposed to be into that position if you really know the game of football very well. Yes, we control the game. Yes, who says we never control the game? I don't know how. United played better today. We moved the ball very well, but there are some nitty-gritties that costed us. You get? Bamwine Michael, they control the game after Bruno Fernandez. Rashford 7 out of 10. All right. Then we are having the TV show I don't like, Bruno CK. Bro, there is a problem in that midfield. We didn't sign quality. I think the problem with that midfield is Erik ten Hag has to obviously get Bruno Fernandez out. It should be Casemiro, Ugarte, and Eriksson. That is it. So that's what we had into that mid. Then I'm having Hamid Hayes substitute is sometime a problem. All right. Everyone who wants to contact me, I've gone ahead to pin my email down there, and let me see how people have gone ahead to vote. Now, the question is, did United control the game? Yes or no? 68% say United control the game. 31% say United never. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. This is, I think we call it quits. I'm going to be returning with the player ratings, and I'm out. This is Goretsebit. I'm not happy because that red card cannot work in the EPL. I wish. Now, if there is a huge percentage of players really calling in for your really getting excited for your being red carded, then you know to it that there is something that is not being done well as planned. So, meaning that something should be done and better to